Aloha.
Aloha. Elton, sorry I missed you on our training series there. Something that I wanted to be present at personally, but you were in very good hands with our folks there, so I appreciate that very much. So let me start by just kind of stating a vision of why. Um, and I've always liked to do little pilots and prove some concepts and do them in places where there is need, where we are welcome, and where it will make a major difference. And Hawaii turned out to be an excellent place to begin the process of this training series out on the road. And so I thank folks like Elton and the rest of the counties in the state of Hawaii for welcoming us and being a part of this engagement. So first of all, that's exactly what it is, an engagement, an opportunity to collaborate, a chance to listen and debate, um, discuss ideas and concepts and best practices so that we can make our communities safer. Discuss continuity, readiness, resilience, not just of systems, but also of people. IPAWS cannot survive without people, right? And the biggest resource in any organization is the folks that make things happen. And we wanted to share this vision of emergency communications with the public, with everyone, and have them understand that this stuff is not just pressing a button, that public warning begins well before that emergency happens and the need for an alert is present. And so the best way to evolve, the best way to learn is not just for us to talk, it's also for us to listen to our customers out there who are practitioners of IPAWS. So as we're doing this, we're learning in IPAWS how to better engage, how to better receive information, how to better take action. And if we go to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about to build awareness and consistency and proficiency, right? Three very basic things, but also to build some confidence, right, in those folks that would make this happen. Sending out an alert is not for the faint of heart. We recognize that. It's a huge responsibility when you press that button. And thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions can get that message in one hit, right? There's fear, there's concern, there's uncertainty. And if we can manage those three things, we become better public communicators during crisis. We also wanted to strengthen collaboration. Many of our IPAWS practitioners do not always engage with the communities that they serve. And when I say communities, I say the public, I say the private sector, the broadcasters, the television folks, the radio folks, the amateur radio operators, some first responders, federal organizations that operate in your area. And it could be a county that needs to collaborate with a tribal nation, right? For example, counties talking to each other, states talking to each other, and vice versa with counties. Collaboration makes this whole thing happen. IPAWS is not just about wireless emergency alerts and the emergency alert system. It's a much bigger ecosystem that everybody must understand. So when we go out to do these, we try to engage you with the private sector partners so that you can have a construct, a community that helps you reach the public in times of emergencies. So I wanted to hear from Elton on what his experience was. Did this work out for you? Were you happy? How was the engagement?
Well, thank you, Manny. So, with the County of Kauai, it started off with the executive training portion of the training series. And, our jurisdictions prior engagements on matters relating to IPAWS had previously been through primarily through state emergency management and our local partners. So in Hawaii's case, state emergency management is the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, or HIEMA, along with the other major counties. And with no disrespect to our excellent partners and our prior efforts, what we found was that the executive training offered high level, definitive information that was instantly recognized and appreciated by our senior officials. We can't quite match the delivery at the local level that your team could to go over the history, program itself, governance, policy, plans, procedures, etc. And I actually liken your delivery to another excellent FEMA program we recently went through. So this year, our jurisdiction participated in the Dam Safety Collaborative Technical Assistance, or Dam Safety CTA program, month long, and brought in experts from FEMA and around the country to present to our dam safety partners. And what I found was that the IPAWS training series was like a condensed but still highly effective version that was very much appreciated by our participants. And so this session validated some of what we've done, gave us the path forward, many things we wish to achieve, areas for improvement in the future, and I think also brought us a high level buy-in.
Thank you, Elton. We started all this in Oahu, and kind of a little sub-pilot to the pilot, right? Went over and met with Mayor Blangiardi, Honolulu and County of Oahu mayor, who instantly understood the reason why we needed to do this. There are things that we forget sometimes, right, as emergency managers, on what the public needs, how much they need to be informed, who our visitors are, and it's in a state like Hawaii, which receives tremendous amount of pleasure vacationing visitors. It's important that the emergency management community understands that additional audience that's in their in their islands at any given time. And so we started discussing some of that, and it drew a lot of question marks on how Oahu was dealing with it. And they do a really good job to begin with, right? So Mayor Blangiardi was very very happy that we came there to provide that training, not to preach, right? Not to point fingers, but more to ask questions on how we can help them develop within that area organically their public warning system. One of the things that we heard yesterday during the IPAWS working group, and something we have said before, is that it takes a community, right? An entire community to do what we do best. And part of that is, of course, a major engagement and understanding with the groups that make this thing happen. For example, how many of you communicate often with your cell phone carriers? Your local, they have an office there, even if it's for sales. Our wireless carriers have a presence in just about every community. Your local broadcasters, are they both of those two, part of your State Emergency Communications Committee? Joining the SECC EAS group and inviting the wireless carriers, as we started doing in Puerto Rico back in like 2012. These are the communities that make public warning work and work effectively. So very important that we talk to each other, that we train together, and that we demonstrate to the public how this is done. Let them see, and that is the public, that you are working together and that you are educating them on what this is all about. It can't be done in a vacuum, government only. We have to get our folks, our communities, our people involved. I wanted to ask Elton, we had Hector, Eddie Bertola, we had Brittany Marshall there, we had Matt there as well. Any of you folks want to have any comments for Elton and I on your recollection? I think I see Eddie pop up.
Manny, pass me the mic. That's all you need, right?
Yeah, it's dangerous, but at my peril.
I will say one thing that I have learned is how unique each county was, how each agency, each entity is. And one thing that I felt IPAWS has really tried to do is not change how you do things, right? It's support you and identify the resources that are going to help your specific community and geography. And that's one thing that I've seen. And I've appreciated the fact that you guys are willing to conduct tests. Like the whole thing is, let's do a live test together. Let's do it right with Republic engagement. But let's actually get our hands in there and see what we're doing. And it's been a blast, and I hope for many more to come.
Thank you, Eddie. Elton, as you went through this, we had a number of conversations with PIOs, the PSAPs, 911 call centers, and others that sometimes or not at all are associated with IPAWS. How do you see that integration work for you there?
I think we have a history of varying integration. It has depended over the years on how experienced, comfortable staff are with it. After our ballistic missile false alarm event, a lot of people got very leery of accessing any systems. So, we had to go back and do a lot of training, increase that confidence level. And we're still working on ensuring, our ability to maximize the number of users and those comfortable with utilizing and generating messages. But I think this training series was very valuable to us in that it provided us with good information on message crafting. It let us go through hands-on exercises where our participants got to practice crafting messages based on the lessons learned in the delivery. And, we had previously been unaware of the IPAWS Alerting Authority ATP online resource, and namely the messaging or the message templates and the message design dashboard, which we found are very useful tools. And that is starting to and will continue to help us improve our messaging. And perhaps, we will expand that and work with the other jurisdictions to try to develop more consistency and statewide messaging. We also found that the PBS Warren site was not previously known to us, and that gives us a window or a snapshot into messages and deliveries nationwide, which we can use to analyze what other jurisdictions are doing and possibly identify some best practices.
Excellent, thank you. And Justin, before you give us the hook, I just wanted to also point out that Elton, as you know, we want to do refresher training. We don't know exactly how that's going to work because we do have a lot of jurisdictions, and maybe some of this will be done virtually as we go forward. But another interesting thing we're interested in, as Hector mentioned earlier, is testing and exercising. After every training, it's good to come back and actually test that. Test people, test process, test community to make sure that we're on the right track and discover those things that we need to know so that we can make improvements at all levels. So thank you very much, Elton, for everything you've done with us and for supporting this effort.
Oh, thanks to you guys.